Hello everybody and welcome back to Screen Stars. Death Note is Netflix's newest movie and it is based on the Japanese manga movies and comic books, and it is the Western retelling of these. And it is directed by Adam Wingard, who's got quite a stellar horror career. He's directed things like VHS, You're Next, The Guest and the Blair Witch movie last year. So he's got some pedigree behind him here, and it tells the story of a character called Light, who's played by Nat Wolff, who at the beginning of the movie comes into the possession of a mysterious notebook that is simply got the title of Death Note. When he investigates it and starts reading it, it basically says whoever's name you write in this book and you follow certain rules, they will die in the way that you describe. And he thinks it's a bit bizarre, but very, very quickly he actually meets Ryuk, who's played by William Dafoe, who's some kind of death god demon, who basically turns up, scares the pants off him, and tells him some of the basic rules of the book, and that he is the new owner of this book, and he can start putting people's names in this book, and they will die in the exact way that he describes it, as long as he follows certain rules. Which he starts doing, quite unbelievably, but he does. He teams up with a girl from school, tells her all about the book, and they team up and they decide to start some kind of revolution, and take out the world's criminals and blame it on some phantom organisation, Kira I think it is, who become like this cult figure now, whereas criminals start turning themselves in because they don't want to get taken out by this Kira thing. But this also comes to the attention of a world-renowned detective called L, who gets involved with this case, comes to America and starts investigating with the American police. And the chief investigator in America just happens to be the father of Light. So that's the story that we get here. I will say, going into this, I haven't read or seen any of the manga stuff, or any of the movies. So I didn't come into this movie with any of that baggage, if you could describe it as baggage. I've already seen a couple of reviews for this movie, of people who are passionate fans of this in its manga form, and they don't seem particularly impressed with this movie, and that's fair enough. I can understand why. I have issues with this movie, regardless of the fact that if I haven't read the mangas or anything. But overall, I think it is a reasonably effective horror movie for someone who has no knowledge of this. If you're going in completely fresh and green like I have watching this, I had a decent time watching it and I thought it was fairly enjoyable. However, there are some really head-scratching, bizarre moments in this movie. For example, if some Death Note book turned up on my doorstep, and some demon or god, whatever it is, turns up and tells me I can start killing people by writing their names in this book, even though there's like uggins of rules, I'm not so sure I would just take that at face value and then just start writing names in this book of random people I don't like who I think deserve to die. I think I would probably bury that book as deep as I could find it and run a bloody mile. This character doesn't like. He just accepts it and does it within minutes, which I just found a bit stupid and bizarre. And then the very next day or the day after, this girl who's got a crush on at school, he reveals everything to her, and they become partners. And I'm just like, hang on a minute, you're killing people fairly indiscriminately, and now you're just revealing it to someone who you don't really know and trust. You just fancy her. Found that a bit stupid. The concept of L, who, from my understanding, is fairly accurate in regards to the manga stuff. I just didn't feel it worked in movies, in a movie setting. It just felt like it was some kind of genetically engineered detective It just felt stupid in a movie. Do you know what I mean? It might work in manga, it didn't work in a movie. I don't think, even though the guy that played him, Lakeith Stanfield, who was in Get Out, he played him fine. I just found the concept of that detective a bit bizarre. It's like a modern day Sherlock Holmes, but just weirder. It's not particularly scary. In fact, it's not scary. Some of the scenes are quite shocking. Some of the deaths are quite shocking, and it reminded me a little bit of like the deaths in Final Destination when you first saw that. You know, they're kind of a bit shocking in what you're seeing. But other than that, it's not scary. The demon's not scary. In fact, it's quite amusing and funny, and it's played wonderfully by William Dafoe. However, you do think as soon as it starts talking, all you can think of is Green Goblin and Spider-Man, and it's another riff from William Dafoe on his Green Goblin character. But that's not to say it's bad. It's because it's not. It's good. It's fun, and the effects for the demon or the god, whatever you want to call it, are very very good too. Um, so I wouldn't go as far to say I disliked this movie because I certainly didn't. I thought it was fun and effective, um, but my suggestion is don't watch this if you're a fan of the manga stuff, because I suspect you're not going to like it. My understanding is they've added their own things in there that aren't faithful to it. Um, so I would probably steer clear of this if you are a real fan of it. But if you're not and you don't know anything about it, you'll probably have an half decent time watching this because it's not terrible. The production values are good, the cinematography is very good, the acting overall is good. I'm not so sure about Nat Wolff playing Light. He didn't really carry the movie particularly well, but he's not bad. But yeah, it's certainly worth a watch, I would say this, but stay clear if you are a huge fan of the manga originals.